Guys, welcome to class. We have a lot to cover today, so we're going to jump in and get started right away. All right, starting off with, we're going to be talking about division by zero. So remember that division and multiplication are inverse operations, meaning they undo each other. So if I say 6 divided by 3, I know that that equals 2. I can then switch it around. 6 divided by 2, that's going to give me 3. This means that 6 equals 2 times 3, or 3 times 2. One of those two is going to be, either one is correct. Well, what if I have 0 on the bottom? 6 divided by 0, what does that equal? Well, knowing this pattern, that the number on top equals these two numbers multiplied, that means that 6 equals 0 times something. But every number that's multiplied by 0 equals 0. So there is no number that when I multiply it by 0 is going to give me 6. So that means that any time I divide by 0, my answer is meaningless or undefined. You can write undefined as your answer, meaningless, something like that. So that's what your answer would be. It's undefined. There is no answer when you divide by 0. So look at this. 4 minus 2 over 13. 4 minus 2 is 2. 2 minus 2 is 0. So this equals 0 over 13. Okay, so I have 13 in the denominator, 0 in the numerator. Well, this is not undefined because this means something times 13 equals 0, right? Well, we know that anything times 0 equals 0, so that means that number must be 0. So when I have 0 in the numerator, my answer is always 0. But look at this one. If I switch it, so I know that it's going to be 13 over 0. Well, my answer has to be undefined here because my 0 is in the denominator. Okay? Now we're going to talk about the commutative, I cannot say that word, commutative property of multiplication. Remember we talked about the commutative property of addition. That means that you can switch around your factors, your add-ins, and it does not matter. You can do 4 plus 2 equals 6, or 2 plus 4 equals 6. You could do 1 plus 3 plus 5 equals 9, or 3 plus 1 plus 5 equals 9, or 5 plus 3 plus 1 equals 9. It doesn't matter, you're going to get the same answer. It's the same thing with multiplication. You can move around your factors and switch them and jumble them, and you're still going to get the same answer. The reason we're showing you this again, because you have seen it before, is because now we've introduced more of our positives and negatives. So this is to reassure you that even if you have negative numbers, it doesn't matter, you'll still get the same answer. So look here. Negative 4 times 3 times negative 6 times negative 2. Well, first I'm going to multiply all my numbers, okay? Ignore your negative signs and just multiply your numbers. 4 times 3 is what? 12, that's right. 12 times negative 6 now times negative 2. Hold on. All right, let's go with this. Sorry. So negative 4 times 3, let's look at our negatives. All right, negative 4 times 3 we know is 12. I have one negative times a positive, so my answer is negative. Negative 12 times negative 6. I have two negatives, so my answer will be positive because I have like signs. So I have positive 72 times negative 2. 72 times 2, 144. I have one negative times a positive, so unlike signs, my answer is negative. Well, now look here. I have the same numbers. Negative 4 over here, positive 3 here, negative 6 here, negative 2 here. The exact same numbers, but I switched their order. But it does not matter. I'm going to get the same answer. Negative 6 times negative 2 gives me positive 12 times 3 times negative 4. Positive 12 times positive 3 is positive 36 times negative 4. 36 times negative 4 equals 144. Since I have unlike signs, my answer is negative. So I got the same answer. So it doesn't matter your order, you'll get the same answer. You could also just multiply your numbers, then count your negative signs. If you have an even number of negative signs, your answer is positive. If you have an odd number of negative signs, your answer is negative. If you feel unsure about doing that, just multiply across like this and use the rules you already know. All right, one more thing for this lesson. When you're converting squared units or cubed units, so these are units of volume or area, you have to be careful. Here I have 44 inches squared. I want to convert that to centimeters, so it's going to be centimeters squared. Whatever unit you start with, you have to end with the same exponent for that unit. So when you square something, remember that means you're multiplying it twice. You're multiplying it by itself. So that means I have 44 inches times inches. So I have to get rid of both of those inches. So I have to use 2 unit multipliers. I can't just use one, and convert straight to centimeters because I have 2 inches I have to get rid of. So I need 2 unit multipliers in order to do that. I know that there are roughly 2.54 centimeters in an inch. So that cancels out one set of inches, and this one cancels out the second. So now I get 44, and remember it's okay to leave your answer like this, times 2.54 times 2.54, and I'm left with centimeters squared because I have 2 of them being multiplied. Okay? Let's look at one for volume. 180 feet cubed to inches cubed. Whoops. So I have 3 of my units of feet. Okay, I'm going to erase this back here so I'll have some more room. Okay, so that means I need 3 unit multipliers to convert to inches. All right, so my first one, I'm going 2 inches from feet. 2 inches from feet, and my last one going 2 inches from feet. I know there's 12 inches in a foot, 12 inches in a foot, 12 inches in a foot. Cancels out each one of my feet cubed, and I'm left with just my inches. Remember, it's perfectly fine to write your answer like this. 180 times 12 cubed inches cubed. Just like that, okay? So that's how you solve those. Now I think we've seen those before. I can't remember, honestly, if we saw those in the end of our book or not. But if they're new, that's how you do it. Simple, super easy. If they're not new, if you remember them, then great. All right, let's pause your video and do your practice. Okay, I'm going to read your answers. Letter A should be undefined because you ended up with 0 on the bottom. B should be 0 because you ended up with 0 on the top. Letter C should be 16 because you had positive 16, guys, because you multiply 4 times 1 is 4 times 4 more is 16. You have 1, 2, 3, 4 negative signs. So that's a positive number because you have an even number of negatives. Letter D should be 240. When you multiply that all together, you have an even number of negatives again, so it's positive 240. Letter E should be 44 times 5,280 times 5,280 feet squared. And your last one should be 4,400 over 3 cubed yards cubed. So 4,440 divided by 3 times 3 times 3 yards cubed. Okay? If you feel lost about anything that we talked about today, just send me a message, okay? And I will help you out. Love you guys. Have a great day, and I'll see you in the next lesson. Bye.